Hello everyone and welcome to Skein Spider. Apologies for my voice in this intro, but I've been sick. Today we're going to be making some little kois. These guys are actually a companion to my goldfish pattern that I released a couple of weeks ago now. I'll pop a link for that down in the description if you're interested in making one of those. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do one particular color change, and that is going to be for this variation here. However, if you would like to make some of your own designs, it is fairly simple just to add in some random color changes to change up the color change pattern. Alrighty, let's get into it before my voice goes entirely. Grab your hooks and let's get started. To make a koi, you're going to need a 3.5mm hook, scissors, stitch markers, a needle, pins, stuffing, a pair of 12mm safety eyes, and 8-ply yarn in white and red. Keep in mind though that those colours are specific to this video. If you're planning to do different colour changes than the ones I'm showing here, you're going to need some different colours of yarn. We're going to be starting off our koi in the white yarn, and round 1 is 6 single crochet in a magic circle. And 6. Round number 2 is 6 increases, and an increase is just 2 single crochet in the same stitch. For round 3, we're going to do 3 single crochet followed by 3 increases repeated twice. We'll begin by doing the first 3 single crochet, 2 and 3, and then we're going to do 3 increases in a row. First increase, second increase, third increase. And then we're just going to repeat that pattern again. We're going to do 3 single crochet and 3 increases. At the end of round 3, we should have 18 stitches total in our round, and round 4 is just going to be 18 single crochet. For round 5, we're going to do 7 single crochet, followed by 6 increases in a row, and then 5 single crochet. Round 6 and 7 are each 24 single crochet. For round 8, we're going to start off with 6 single crochet. Two, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then we're going to repeat 1 single crochet, 1 increase 6 times. That's 1 single crochet and then an increase, and we're just going to repeat that 5 more times, or 6 in total. And after that 6th increase, we are just going to finish the round with 6 single crochet. I hate it when the yarn does this. Alright, you can stay on the inside of my work, please. Okay, we're going to start round 9, and round 9 is the first color change round that we're going to do. For these first few color change rounds, I will have the normal graphic that I usually have down the bottom for the written pattern, but as we get further into the color changes, we're going to be doing multiple color changes per round, as well as having increases and decreases. That tends to make the written pattern very long. If you've seen some of my patterns in the past, You'll know that sometimes if the written pattern is long, I will either shrink down the text or have it scroll across the screen. But personally, I think it's easier if you can see the whole pattern at once. What I'm going to trial when we get to the point where the written pattern is much longer is to have the written pattern graphic on the side, so it'll be appearing on the screen here. Let me know what you think of this method. I'm just going to trial it because I think it is easier than having the pattern scroll across the bottom. You can see the whole thing at once. So we'll just see how it goes. Let me know in the comments what you think. We're going to begin round 9 in our white, and we're going to do 14 single crochet. And 13. I've done my 13th out of 14 single crochet, but it is on the last single crochet that we're going to be changing color. So for single crochet number 14 in the white, you're going to go into the stitch, yarn over and pull through so you have 2 loops on your hook, but it's at this point you'll want to bring in your second color. And I am using red, so just be aware that in the written pattern I'm going to have R as a stand-in for the red yarn, but if you're using a different color you can just use whatever color that happens to be in place of the red. So for the red yarn we're going to do, and I didn't explain that, did I? I just went ahead and did it. So let me take that out. I'm going to do that again. So for stitch number 14 you're going to go into the stitch, yarn over and pull through so you have 2 loops on your hook. At this point you bring in your red yarn, you're going to line it up behind the head of your hook, then you're going to yarn over in the new color, pull it through the 2 loops on your hook, and that is how we're going to be changing color throughout this entire koi. That is our color change technique. Working in the red yarn now, we are going to do 3 single crochet. And again, on the last single crochet, we're going to switch colors back to the white. I'm also going to be working over my white yarn because I'm going to carry it with me to the next color change. And I'll also be working over this little tail end to secure it. If you would prefer, you can weave this in instead. So single crochet number 1 in the red, number 2 in the red, and then number 3, we're going to go into the stitch, yarn over and pull through. So we have 2 red loops on our hook, drop the red, pick up the white, and then finish in that. For round number 9, we're going to finish by doing 13 single crochet in white. What I like to do is when I'm doing my color changes in the koi, for the first stitch of my new color, so in this case that's white, I'm going to go into the stitch and single crochet, but I'm going to work over the red if I can keep my yarn on the hook. So I'm going to work over the red for just that 1 single crochet, and I do that just to make sure that my color change is secure. After that I'm going to drop the red here and I'm going to continue single crocheting in the white, and in the next round when it's time to work with the red again, I'm just going to pick that up and bring that back over. If you would prefer, you can cut your yarn and then reintroduce it, but I like doing this method. I think it just saves a little bit of time. So we're just going to finish off with our 13 white single crochet. Round 10 also begins with 13 single crochet in white. And on number 13 I need to change color. That means I'll go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through so I have 2 white loops on my hook, and I'm going to drop my white yarn at this point and bring in the red. Because I didn't cut my yarn, I left it hanging. What I need to do is bring this across to my white. When you do this, just run your yarn gently along the rest of the stitches of your koi. So you're going to run it along the stitches back towards where your hook is. And then you're going to finish in that. The reason you need to run it gently is if you pull this yarn too tightly, it's going to pull the opposite side of your koi's head across. So you're going to end up with a piece that's folded permanently like this, and we don't want that. So you want to keep the tension of the yarn that you pull across in your color changes nice and loose. You don't want to pull that really tight. So we're going to continue crocheting in the red, and once more I'll be working over my white yarn so I can continue with that in the next color change. For this part we're going to do 5 single crochet in red, and on my 5th red single crochet I'm going to swap back. So go in, yarn over, pull through 2 red loops, drop the red, pick up the white, and we're going to finish round 10 with 12 single crochet in white. And I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. For that first stitch, I'm just going to work over the red to secure it. Then I'm going to drop the red entirely and continue single crocheting in white. Both rounds 11 and 12 are the same. They are each 12 single crochet in white, 8 single crochet in red, and then 10 single crochet in white. After round 12, we're going to stop and insert the safety eyes. So just secure that end. The safety eyes go on either side of the head between rounds 6 and 7. So the top of the head is where this red color change has begun. And we're going to start at round 1 and just count our way out. When you've inserted the eyes, just look at your fish from front on to make sure that they're level. And when you're happy with the placement, you can put the backs on. And when that's done, we're going to continue with round 13. Round 13 begins with 14 single crochet in white, then 8 single crochet in red, and finally 8 single crochet in white. Round 14 is going to be the first round in which I put the written pattern on the side because it's a bit longer, and I'm going to break it up to hopefully make it easier to read. We're going to begin round 14 by doing 8 single crochet. After that 8 single crochet, we're going to do an invisible decrease. To do that, you're going to go under the front loops of the next 2 stitches. And the front loop is the part of the stitch here that is closest to us. So we're going to go under the first front loop, under the second front loop. You're going to yarn over and pull through both of those front loops. And at this point you should have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both of those. And that's how you do an invisible decrease. After that invisible decrease, we're going to do 6 more single crochet in white. After that 6th white single crochet, we're going to swap back to our red, change color, and then in the red we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 decrease, and then 2 more single crochet. On that second red single crochet, we're going to switch back to our white, and then in white we're going to do 6 single crochet and 1 decrease. Round 15 starts with 15 single crochet in white, 4 single crochet in red, and then 8 single crochet in white. Round 16 we're going to do entirely in white, so there's no color changes here. We're going to do 7 single crochet, 1 decrease, and we're going to repeat that 3 times. Round 17 is 10 single crochet in white, 3 single crochet in red, and then 11 single crochet in white. For round 18, we're going to begin by doing 6 single crochet in white. After that 6th single crochet, we're going to do a decrease. And then we're going to do 1 more single crochet in white. But we're going to be changing color to the red on this one, so don't finish it in the white, instead finish it in the red. In red, we're going to do 5 single crochet. After that 5th single crochet, we're going to do another decrease, but on this decrease, we're going to need to change color back to the white. We're going to begin by going under the front loops of the next 2 stitches using our red yarn. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 front loops. So at this point, we should have 2 red loops on our hook. We're going to drop the red yarn, pick up the white, and continue crocheting in that for the rest of the round. And we're going to do 6 single crochet, 1 decrease in the white. Round 19 is 8 single crochet in white, 6 single crochet in red, and then 7 single crochet in white. After round 19, take out your hook and secure your end, and we're just going to begin stuffing. When you finish stuffing, reinsert your hook and we're going to continue with round 20. Round 20 is 5 single crochet, 1 decrease in white, then 5 single crochet, 1 decrease in red, and then we're going to switch back to the white and do 5 more single crochet, 1 decrease. Round 21 is 9 single crochet in white, 2 single crochet in red, and then 7 single crochet in white. Round 21 is going to be our final color change round. So when you're done with your red yarn, you're just going to cut a short tail. And then for the rest of the white stitches, of which there should be 7, we're just going to work over this tail end to secure it. Round 22 is just 18 single crochet in white. Round 23 is 4 single crochet and a decrease repeated 3 times. Round 24 is 3 single crochet and a decrease repeated 3 times. At the end of round 24, we're just going to add the last of our stuffing. And then when we've finished stuffing, we're going to continue on to round 25, which is our final round, and that is just 6 decreases. To finish off, we're just going to cut a short tail, pull up with your hook, and for this next step, you're going to need to grab your needle. Thread the tail end through your needle, and then we're going to close up this little hole here. To do that, go under the front loops of each of the last 6 stitches, start from behind the front loop, push your needle under it and forward towards you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then just pull on that yarn to close the hole. At this point, insert your needle directly into the center of round 25 and just weave your end, the tail end, in through the body to secure it. Snip off the excess, and with that we're done with the body and we can go on to crocheting all of the fins. We're going to start off by making the tail piece, and we're only going to make one of these. This entire piece is crocheted in the back loop only, and we're going to begin by making a slip knot and chaining 10. Starting in the second chain from the hook, we're going to do 4 single crochet, 1 increase, and then 4 single crochet. We're going to begin row 2 by chaining 2, 1 and 2, and then turning our work. Once again, starting in the second chain from the hook, we're going to do 5 single crochet, 1 increase, and 5 more single crochet. As I mentioned at the start, this entire pattern is worked in the back loop only. For row 3, chain 2, turn your work, and in the back loop only, we're going to do 6 single crochet, 1 increase, and 6 single crochet. Row 4, chain 2, turn your work, and then in the back loop only, we're going to do 7 single crochet, 1 increase, and 7 more single crochet. Row 5 is our final row, and we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and then in the back loop only do 8 single crochet. After you've done that 8 single crochet, you're just going to cut a tail so that we can sew the tail on to the body when we get to the assembly stage. The next piece that we're going to make is the dorsal fin, and like the tail, it too is worked in rows using the back loop only for the entire pattern. We're going to begin by making a slip knot and then chaining 5. To crochet row 1, we're going to start in the second chain from the hook, and then we're just going to crochet 4 single crochet back down along the chain. Rows 2 through to 5 are the same. They're each going to be chain 1, turn your work, and then in the back loop only, do 3 single crochet. So row 2, chain 1, turn your work. We're going into the back loop for 1, 2, and then 3 single crochet, and you're going to repeat that for rows 3, 4, and 5 as well. Both rounds 6 and 7 are each chain 1, turn your work, and then in the back loop only 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, and that's row 6. Chain and turn, 1 and 2, there we go, for row 7. And then rows 8 and 9 are chain 1, turn your work, and then 1 single crochet in the back loop. So 1 single crochet, we're going to chain and turn and do 1 more single crochet for row 9. Done. Okay, when that's finished, you need to cut a tail so you can sew this onto the body. And then the next pieces that we're going to have to make are the pectoral fins. We're going to make 2 of those to put 1 on either side of the body. So I've already made 1. I'm going to grab my white yarn again. And like the previous 2 pieces that we've done, the pectoral fins are worked in rows in the back loop for the entire piece. We're again beginning with a slip knot, and this time we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Row 1 is just 3 single crochet back down the chain, starting in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, and 3. And both rows 2 and 3 are chain 1, turn your work, and in the back loop only 2 single crochet. 1 and 2. Then row 3, chain, turn, and 2 single crochet. And that's all we need to do for the pectoral fins. Make a second one if you haven't already. And then we're going to go on and crochet the final pieces, which are the barbels, which will go next to the mouth here. So we're going to grab our white yarn again. And for the barbels, we are working in rows again, but this time we don't need to work in the back loop only, because the barbell is only one row. So we're going to begin by chaining 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In the second chain from the hook, we're going to do a slip stitch. Slip stitch. We're going to follow this with 2 single crochet. 1 and 2. And then in the final chain, we're going to do another slip stitch. And that's all we need to do for the barbels. Pretty simple. Cut a tail for sewing. And now we can begin putting our koi together. Before we actually do any sewing, what we're going to do is crochet the mouth onto our koi. I just find this a bit easier to do before I've attached all the fins. Stop things getting in the way of your crocheting. We're going to attach the mouth to between rounds 1 and 2 of the koi. So at the front here, you can see round 1, our first round that we did, and then round 2 is the next one out. In this space between them is where we're going to crochet the mouth. So you're going to take your crochet hook and insert it into one of the spaces between rounds 1 and 2. It doesn't matter which one, you can start at whatever point you want. And then we're going to bring in our white yarn, line that up next to the head of your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull that yarn through, and then slip stitch to join. This slip stitch doesn't count as a stitch in the round, so our first single crochet is going to go into this same stitch. You're going to go back into this space that we just worked into, and single crochet. I think I picked up a bit of the tail end there. Get that out of the way. In there. And single crochet. And then what we're going to do is continue to single crochet in a circle around in between rounds 1 and 2. That should give us 6 stitches in total because there's 6 stitches in round 1. So we've done number 1. We're going to go across to the next stitch. Number 2, across again, just following our rounds around. 3, 4, and finally 6. When you've done all 6 single crochet, just cut a short tail, and we're going to weave these ends into the body. So you'll need to grab your needle for that. When the mouth's finished, the first bit we're going to sew on is the tail. And before we do that, we're going to take care of this end here from our slip knot where we originally began, because the opposite end, that is the wider end, that is where we're going to sew the tail to the body. Just grab this slip knot end, thread it through your needle, and then just weave it in through the backs of your stitches. When that tail end's taken care of, we're then going to sew the other side to the body. You can use pins for this part if you want to, but I don't think it's really necessary for the tail. You're just going to place this on the back, and you want to center it between the eyes. So if you look at your piece from the front, the tail is centered on the top of the back, with the top of the back here. So like that. I'm just going to thread my needle. And then once you've got the tail lined up, we only need to sew this on for about 3 or 4 stitches. The next piece that we're going to sew on is the dorsal fin, and for this piece I am going to use pins just because it makes it a little bit easier to keep straight along the back. So I'm going to line the end of the dorsal fin, and the end of the dorsal fin is the shorter end, this taller part is the front. So I'm going to line that up with the tail 2 or 3 rounds up from where the tail ends here. And then just make sure the front is centered roughly between the eyes, about there. What you can do with all of these pieces, I probably should have mentioned this before I pinned it down, but luckily we haven't sewed it on yet. With the tail ends from the slip knot of each of these pieces, so all our other fins, the barbels as well, you can weave those into the backs of the stitches like we did for the end bit of the tail. What I prefer to do, however, is just sew on my piece and then weave these ends into the body to hide them. I think that's easier, but if you would prefer to weave them into the crocheted piece itself, you can do that. So I'm going to start off by sewing down this dorsal fin now that it's pinned in place. When that's sewn on, if you didn't weave in this end, we're just going to hide that as well. I'll just thread it through my needle and finish off the same way. I'm just weaving it directly into the body. After the dorsal fin, I'm going to put on the pectoral fins. There we go. And like with the dorsal fin, the longer part, so this part here is the front, so that'll be sitting on the body like this, longer part at the front there. What I would recommend you do at this point is place your fins on. I usually like to place them 1 round back from the eye and 2 or 3 stitches down. So you're going to pin 1 in place, then do the same for the second. And before you do any sewing and make any permanent changes that you can't undo, make sure you look at your fish from the front and see if your pectoral fins are even, if they're level. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to look at my fins. Now this one has ended up sitting further back than this one, so I'm going to fix that. And I am pretty happy with that placement, and they look level from the front too, so I'm going to sew them on now. Then after the pectoral fins are on, we're going to attach the barbels, and for these you don't really need pins either because we're only going to be sewing a couple of stitches across the top here, but if you think it's easier you can use those if you want to. We're going to attach the barbels to either side of the mouth but towards the bottom, so about here, and the other one on the opposite side here. And again, I'm going to do the same thing to take care of my slip knot end. I'm just going to sew it on first and then weave this back into the body. And with those sewn on, we are finished. Thank you all for watching. I have several more freshwater fish patterns coming, as well as a couple of salties as well, but I'm focusing on the freshwater because they're my favorite. So if you would like to see those, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I will be back next week with another video. I will see you all then.